So hello. Here I will try to explain as best as possible the way Big Water Studios is doing the UVs in Blender, but it's more or less translatable to every software. Let's say, as the topic is concerning the texel density, and I will explain it how to do it here in Blender. So the most important thing that we need to do is in preference in add-ons we need to get the texel density checker. If you don't have it, you can just write in Google or whatever is your search engine texel density Blender add-on, and it's free. If you want, you can pay as you want also in Gumroad, but by predefined is also set up in our pipeline, so you can find it in the same way that I found it. You activate it in this way, and once you activate it, if you go to edit some UVs, you can just press here N, and you will see the menu of the texel density here on the right side of this window. So how we will proceed in different projects is to define at the beginning of the project which resolution or which size of texture we use for a specific measurement. In this case, I recommend to use meter in terms of locations, because if we say like 1 meter, is probably easier for everybody to understand what it means in the real world. So, and because we are always trying to get real size of or real measurements of things to be modeled, let's say we are doing real size assets there. So if we have a building of 20 meters, at least we know that one of the reference is 1 meter to calculate the texel density. So the first thing that we will focus on is this first options that we have. So it's coming by default in pixel per centimeter, but we can change it to pixel by meter. So as I said, it's easier in locations. And if you don't know, the standard cube that is coming, the default cube that is coming in Blender is 2 times 2. The size is 2 meters by 2 meters. So if we, for example, we want to do a cube that is 1 meter by 2 meter, we just need to go out from the edit mode and scale it, pressing 0.5, so it's half of the size and the size, and this is 1 meter by 1 meter. Okay, so so if we go back to the edit mode and we select one of the faces, we see here that is okay, it's somewhere on the UV space, but we don't know exactly. For example, if we want to put a texture that is 2000 or 2048 pixel per face, so what we need to do is scale this up until each face is exactly the square of the UV layout, the first square. So, but because we don't want to do that manually, we don't want to do that like this, we can say, for example, the texture size is like 2048 pixel, the texture that we will put. And if we really want to match per face this one, we can put here exactly the same, like 248 pixel per meter. And if we press set my TD, it's going to do exactly the face like the UV square, which is meaning that if we use a texture of 2048 pixels, it's going to fit perfectly with the texel density that we set up here on top and here on the pixel per meter. So if, for example, we have two faces that are not really visible, like I will just activate this, like this, and this, because we will see just those three faces from the camera. we can also say, okay, in those three faces we will use half of the pixels that are in the other, or even half of half. It's like the four part of the pixel. So in this case, for example, I can just press half TD, and it's going to set up the faces like half of the other faces, like 4 times less space in the UVs than the other ones. So we can already save time. And if we distribute this by UDIMs, we know that, for example, if that one is every phase is like separate in different UVs, in different UDIMs, sorry. So we will be sure, I will do it here roughly, we will be sure that if we are painting texture in Substance Painter or whatever is the software, so every texture will be exactly 2048 pixel, right? And then the resolution of the texture on the square, on this specific square, is going to be the 2048 pixel. It's super, because then always when we have another object, and the other object is like another building, and it's like double size or whatever is the size, so if we do the UVs and we calculate the same pixel per meters, we can say set my textile density, because we already said that this 2048 pixel per meter. So in this case, as you can see, the UV layout square is the half of the size of the other square, or the other cube. So we are sure that this cube, if I divide it just to see the lines, is exactly 4 times per face, sorry, 4 times this square. So what it means here is that we need to divide the UVs. If it's not tillable, we have to divide them, the UVs, in different UDIMs, and probably it's occupying 4 times more UVs. Probably not, it's occupying 4 times more UVs than the other one, if we want to use exactly the same configuration and the same resolution. But the cool thing is, if we go to the shader editor here, so we will go to the shader editor, and we already say, okay, I want to apply a new material, and in this material I want to use as a base color the image texture. I will do it here, image texture, and in the image texture we connect it with the color, and we say, let's put it in this, done, new, and we said here that it's not blank, is the color grid, for example. I will just press OK, and then it says, let's say this is just a representation, but this is the resolution of this cube, and if I apply the same shader to the other one, it's exactly the same square size. So amazing, my friends.